Hi, this is Candace with KNC Lodge. I participated in a bunch of vintage ATC swaps over on SwapBot. They were hosted by We Eat Crayons over at SwapBot, and at least most of them were. And so I participated in almost all of her vintage swaps. So I wanted to show you what I sent and all these lovelies that I received. One of the swaps was for 5 vintage. One was for vintage with a button, vintage with lace, vintage with a bird, vintage with a lady, vintage with a wing or wings, vintage with a charm, and then there's also a vintage with an angel that's coming up. This is the one that I will use for vintage with an angel, and this was also vintage with a button. You've seen this, I have a tutorial out there on this one. And then here's, this is vintage with advertising. And then also vintage with a leaf. I got these little leaf charms from my sister, or these little glass beads. I use them for leaves. Here's my vintage with a lady. This is probably my favorite. For some reason, she came out good. Just the colors, and it's one of those sort of, you feel like you got lucky when you put it together and it came out good. Here's a flower. You've seen many of these before in previous videos. So I've done, as I make so many of each one, and I can use them for several swaps. This one I have a lot of rub and buff in the background here. Gives it that gold, and I also used rub and buff on the flowers and on this resin bird. This was a vintage with lace and a vintage with the bird. And here was another vintage with the bird. And then I don't think I used this for anything else except I think it was just a vintage with the bird, yeah. And then this last one I used for vintage with a charm. And then I also had used it for another one. So I like that little girl. She's really cute. So let me show you the ones that I received, because I'm very excited about all of these beautiful ATCs. This one was a vintage with gold, and that one I used one of the ones that I had, and it had gold in it. So this is great. She gave me some smash tape and some cavallini tape, and I really like this. This is from Bonnie in California, and she put her gold in the bird's nest. I think this is a really beautiful ATC. I love this ATC. Thank you, Bonnie. I also got, this one is the vintage with a lady. This is from Lauren, and she's from the UK. And I want to take that out because I want you to see the sparkly, and I love this lace over here with the little pearls on it. I think that's really beautiful. Thank you, Lauren. It's great. I love this ATC. All of the vintage ones are absolutely wonderful. Here is a vintage with a charm. And this is from Wendy in Gig Harbor, Washington. She's got quite a bit of collage work on there. I like it. Super cute. And then from Christine in Wisconsin, I wanted to show you the envelope that she sent this in. She actually, this is sort of some sort of bubble wrap paper, and she stitched it with her sewing machine. I've never received a sewn envelope before, but it's very cool. I loved this envelope, and I'm going to keep it. It's just so different and unique. So I just love it. Christine, I do like it. And then the ATC she sent me, I believe this is the one with the wing. Yes. And it's also really good. Look at how thick it is. She puts a lot of this metal embellishment, and then this heart is some paper or maybe some of that Tim Holtz tape. But I just love it. I think I'm going to have to hang it up on my wall because it's not going to fit in my book. See how the wings stick out there? Love it, Christine. Thank you. Okay, let's keep them coming. There's more. We have a vintage with the bird right here. And this is from Terry. I like the little bird on her shoulder. These ATCs are just so good. I think they're very impressive. This next one is from Debbie in Grants Pass, Oregon, and this one is the vintage with the leaf, and I really like the shape of this, how it's rounded on the top, and then the colors. I just love these fall type colors with the orange and green. And this is all collage, so it's kind of thick. See that? I love it. It's great. Thank you so much, Debbie. Let's see, we've got another vintage with the bird, because there was a couple of vintage with the bird. And normally I don't like reds and pinks, but look at this. It's just, because it's vintage and it's more of a maroon red rather than a pink red, that's why I love it so much. I like maroon and it's so pretty. She's got some glittery back here around the heart and collage together. A piece of lace on this side. Collage underneath. That's really, really pretty. That came out great. Thank you, Sherry. It's from Sherry. And she's also from Oregon. I get a lot of people from Oregon and Washington. And then finally, I've got the swap partner I had for the 5 vintage ATCs was Vanna Paris, and here is the 5 that she sent me. She is from California, and so she had to send me 5, and she actually sent me a little extra. So these are excellent. I love them all. I'm going to take them out of the package so that you can see them better. Look at that. Rounded corners. I like the rounded corners. There's glitter. Some stamping. Some collage work. These are very good. These are nice and thick too. I like the thickness of these. These are definitely what you call vintage. This was the Vintage Love. She sent me this as a little extra. I love it. And then I'm having trouble getting them out. They're nice and thick and stiff. I love when an ATC is appropriately stiff and not flimsy. This one came out great. I like the stamping. Looks like there's a little bit of glimmer mist possibly on that. And then this last one has an embossed birdcage on it, and gosh, that came out really well. It's quite glittery. I like the edge. Some sort of ink or something around the edge. It came out really well. So I hope I didn't miss any, because there was a lot. This one was an extra that was sent as a pass-it-on one, and it didn't really go with any of the particular swaps, but it was an extra, and I think it's pretty, and honestly, I don't know if I want to pass it on because it's so pretty. I just went to a wedding this weekend too, and look, you got the wedding rings and the flowers. This is really, really nice. So I want to thank everyone for participating in these vintage swaps over at SwapBot. I really enjoyed them, and thank you for the wonderful ATCs, and thanks for watching.